if it's meant.
If it's meant. Like, and you know, maybe we'll cross the paths again. Maybe we'll intersect. Maybe we won't.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to touch a little bit on, so we're in the era of, you know, trends.
Yes.
And so especially this generation that we're speaking to, Gen Z, how are they able to really curate genuine friendships opposed to these like friendships for goals?
You're doing TikTok challenges together, so you're friends.
Yeah.
You have to first say, you know, is this a relationship of proximity? Because you know how, like, in our age group, we see like the ladies' brunches, and they always say the mean girls are at the ladies' brunches, and sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
But you can tell a person is only interested in using your social capital or your access and getting close to you, just to use you so that they can catapult themselves. You can tell because, again, they're not putting you in positions to win. Yeah. They're not complimenting you. They're not genuinely interested in your life. Yeah. Do you know my mama name? Do you know what college I went to? Do you know what food I'm allergic to? Like, just the intricacies and the things that make me me. Do you know why I see the world the way I do? Those are the things that help me personally define an intimate homegirl relationship.
Yeah.
You know, like this is my sister. Like we've transitioned. We've gone further than being friends. Like, this is my people now.
Yeah.
So I would say, is this person around you just for proximity?
Right.
Are they around you just to use you? Do they make you feel whole and good? Do they feed your ego? Because a lot of our friendships feed our egos.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy because that'll make you too fat. If you know, shade. But if you have somebody that's constantly feeding your ego, that's going to swell you up, and you'll combust, and so will that relationship. So
I would actually tell my younger self, like you said, if it's a friendship where they're only your friend when they benefit, or they're only praising you when they benefit, and the second they feel like they can no longer benefit from you, you start to see a change in behavior. That is not a friend.
The change in behavioral pattern. And we can do that with all of our things. If your job stops including you on company emails and they stop inviting you out to the after work dinners, you know something's different. People's patterns are changing. If your boyfriend ain't answering your phone calls like he used to, or he's taking longer periods to call you back and y'all aren't going out, that's a change in behavioral pattern.
Right.
We have the same thing in our friendships.
We do.
How are your behavior? You're being different. And you don't have to address it like you said. But you just watch. You just observe.
And I think that's where I failed, because I was just, like I said, I had this conversation recently where I didn't pick up on a change in behavior, where this person was like just in awe of me at one point. Like they everything was just dope about me, and this was great and this was great, and they wanted to be like my little shadow. But as, you know, I had more children and I couldn't do the things I was doing before. I had to take a pause from being in the limelight. As like my life started to shift and theirs started to grow and increase, it was kind of like, her. And then I started to see the change in behavior, but I didn't pay it any mind. I got into the position of, let me, you know, now you have something for me to celebrate, and, you know, just being totally oblivious of how I was being shunned and kicked to the side and looked down on all of a sudden. And I noticed it in the verbal exchanges, the communication, the way I was being talked to, the way I was being talked at. It got so bad. And again, this is something I want girls and young women to pay attention to. Like we talked about in the beginning, not listening to the people who love us. There were people who loved me, like genuinely, family, friends, and they would see things. And it got to the point that some of my family were like, if this person is going to be there, please don't invite me. Like literally, they were like, if she's going to be there, do not invite me in.
Can you give an example of something this person did? I'm sure they're not watching.
Oh my goodness. So, and I don't care if they do, but so I remember, so I have a couple of my cousins, like my second cousins, we grew up like siblings.
Yeah.
And one of my cousins, I remember her way back, I had this boyfriend, and I would bring him around, right? Now, mind you, this is not things I'm running back and telling them. They are seeing this for themselves, like front row witnessing. So I had this boyfriend, and I would bring him around because I just wanted him to get to know my friend groups, my family. And my cousin would always say, like, she would pull me to the side after we would be out somewhere, and she's like, yo, your girl, like, she keeps saying things about your past in front of your new boyfriend, and it's pissing me off. And she's like, she's done this multiple times.
Did you not hear her?
It was like, I did hear it sometimes, but I thought it was like, I thought it was like part of regular conversation. Like, we would be on a topic and somehow it would, something about my past would come up in front of my new boyfriend.
That is messy.
Right.
And unnecessary.
Right. And my cousin picked up on it. She's like, all right, it has been multiple times. Like, she keeps trying to embarrass you in front of him. It's like she's trying to get him to break up with you. That's how my cousin perceived it. And she was like, I don't like that. I don't like the way she's trying to put you down. That was one occasion. Another occasion was in a public, and this was more recent. I had an event, and we had just a whole group of friends and some new friends I had, old friends and new friends. And in this event, this person took so many opportunities to just drag me about my poor choices and
publicly or
public. This was in the event, and mind you, I felt it, but I'm in my head again, and I'm like, is what I think happening?
That's what we needed,
Danny,
to drag her to come back out.
I know. And I really felt it, and I felt a little uncomfortable. And actually, one of my guests said to me after, like,
Does she like you?
Yeah, she's like, it made me uncomfortable. That's what one of my guests said to me. And I actually had a couple of friends who approached me. One friend said she started to walk out. She was like, yo, I don't like the stuff she was saying. She said, I wanted to say something, but we were recording. It was a live event. Another friend was like, yeah, I picked up on it. Like, that was her opportunity to, like, just take you down.
Yep.
Make you look a certain way in front of everyone. And it was so embarrassing. And it was like, but I stayed in, host mode.
You were professional.
Very professional. And I'm just like,
you could have gone viral, though, and had a world star moment if you didn't.
Right? But I just was like, those times of people who love me trying to tell me, like, I don't like this behavior.
And you didn't listen, and it culminated to this person trying to publicly humiliate you.
Absolutely.
How did you put the nail in the coffin and end that?
So to be honest, again, it's something I had to teach my daughter about this situation so she can get ahead of it for her life. And I'm like, because I didn't do what I'm telling you to do now, this is where it got. And I told her, I'm like, I spent too many years, people who love me, telling me things they saw for themselves and didn't like. Too many years, even in terms of non-reciprocal support. People are like, why are you always pumping this person and they barely post you? Like, they're seeing this with their own eyeballs. And I'm just like, maybe they don't care about that, and just making excuses. And I told my daughter it was too many years that I allowed it, even down to group chat conversations, taking the opportunity to embarrass me in writing, in the chat.
Are you saying that you didn't notice it, or you?
I was letting it slide.
Because I think this is where we can do self-introspection, and why did I allow that to happen for so long? When you did your self-introspection, what did you learn about yourself and why you made space for that person?
I learned, and it was funny because one of my girlfriends asked me that very question. She said, what is it about this friendship that you kept holding on to despite these things? And I said, honestly, the longevity. It's a historical friendship. I thought that I had to be friends with the person because it was so long. I thought I had to take those shots. I thought I had to just suck it up. The mutual friends, I didn't want to break up friend groups by saying I'm done with this person and people have to pick, like, I didn't want that. I felt, I'm so loyal, to be honest. I felt like a need to continue this loyalty for whatever reason, I don't know, but I just felt, and then when the situation happened, that was so detrimental to not just my reputation, but my mental health. That's when I stopped and I said, again, this is what I want girls and young women to know, like, some of your friendships can be a detriment to your mental health.
Absolutely.
An extreme detriment, especially to the point where it publicly humiliates you. It's like, once it got to that point, I was just like, Danisha, why did you hold on?
Why did you hold on? When you were talking, I thought about something. As little girls, young women, we are not taught how to enforce our boundaries.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
and then we're taught that if you say no, you're being mean.
Yeah.
Which, we see abuse happening. We see families look over it. We see, in certain cultures, the adults, oh, that's an adult, you're going to respect them. Oh, go give auntie so-and-so a hug. A child can't even express body autonomy without the adults in their lives making them feel like you're being bad if you say no. So I think a lot of us were not programmed to say, I don't want this. This doesn't make me feel good, but I'm going to have to do it anyway because they said so. I kind of feel like a lot of us are programmed in that manner. And so that keeps us from being able to say, hey, this friendship, how you're being with me, this opportunity, something in me does not feel good. And so we miss the marker on being able to pick up that thing in us that lets us say that. And, we'll heal the age-old thing. Like if you have estrangement from a family member, a parent, a sibling, whatever, they'd be like, well, that's your family. But this girl was in your life for so long. You're like, well, she's been here.
I think a lot of my guilt came from the guilt tripping I was receiving of that behavior was out of love. So it would force me to feel like I'm being irrational because this person loves me. It's like, coming from love.
But do I define love with hurt and pain and rejection and putting me down? And you're like, no, I don't. You also said something, I made a mental note. This person was complimentary of you. Oh my God, singing your praises. I think we can define a person very quickly and let them in their lives. They disarm us by showering us with compliments. We see that when they say in narcissistic relationships, what is it called when they like overly compliment you and move real fast? Love bombing.
It started that way.
Yes.
When I was popping, it was a lot of praise.
Oh my God, Danny, you're amazing. You're this. They're, sharing you all over the place. They're showing that they are adjacent to you. Like they're doing little things. So friends that love bomb us, I would say that's a thing that we need to be very careful about.
Oh, that's a good one.
I got that way too because it feels good to your ego.
That's a good one.
You the bomb, girl. Oh my God, this is my homegirl. She was on this and she was on that. And you just get to stand there. You get to stand there. But then I won't necessarily say, because that person sounds like they were a fan. She sounds like she was a Danny fan. I'm not saying that we can't befriend fans, but you have to be very careful on what are their motives. Because once that fan gets to know you, one of my favorite